Hello whiskey lovers, and welcome to another one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings, coming to you from Limburg, from the Fruit Valley, where they grow all the fruit that ends up on your plate. But obviously, we're not here to talk to you about the Fruit Valley. I'm here to talk to you about whiskey, and today, Johnnie Walker. Johnnie Walker is, of course, the flagship whiskey from Diageo, Diageo being the largest drinks company in the world. Now, Diageo has recently invested heavily in quite a few of their distilleries. Four in particular, Glenkinchie has now been turned into the Lowland home of Johnnie Walker. Then Clynelish has been turned into the Highland home of Johnnie Walker. Cardhu became the Speyside home of Johnnie Walker. And finally, Caol became the Islay home of Johnnie Walker. And that is, of course, because those four distilleries produce a malt that goes into the Johnnie Walker blends. So they have four Johnnie Walker Black Label Origins, being one for the Highlands, one for Speyside, one for Islay, one for the Lowlands. Now today I would like to try two of them. I brought with me the Johnnie Walker Black Label Origins Islay and the Highland Expression. So let's put these two head to head, shall we? There's one more significant difference with these Johnnie Walker Black Label Origin releases as opposed to the regular Johnnie Walker Black Label or even the Johnnie Walker Double Black, because those are bottled at 40% ABV, while these two are bottled at 42% ABV. So let's try these, and we'll start with the Highland Origin. Like I said, this is based around mostly Clynelish, Clynelish being the Highland home of Johnnie Walker. I will try that one first. Bottled at 42% ABV. A bright golden color on the nose. Very bright indeed. Obviously I get caramelly notes, but I also get quite some grassy notes, and it's not because I'm standing here in Limburg, it's actually a grassy note coming from the glass. And I think that might be due to the amount of tanninic that goes in here. It's actually quite lovely, quite fresh as well. I get a bit of a coffee note in the back. Let's try this one on the palate. Mouth coating, very sweet again, but quite approachable despite the slightly higher alcohol content. I get some spicy notes in there as well. Clearly, again, some caramel notes, some toffee notes, but the spiciness is quite lovely. A bit of white pepper and some nutmeg. But what stands out here is the wonderful citrusy note and the wonderful beeswax notes, and that is undoubtedly from Clynelish. On the finish then. That finish is medium long, and it keeps on giving in the sense that the spices linger very long and only fade away very slowly. I have to be honest, the Johnnie Walker Black Label Origins Highland is right up my alley. Right, let me just put this away on the side so I can create a bit of space for my second glass, because opposed to the Highland Origin, we will now try the Islay Origin. And now the Islay Origin, make no mistake, this is going to be the peaty version. Again, bottled at 42% ABV, just like all the Origins. Let me just put it back here in the hopes that it doesn't fall off. It's a little brighter than the Highland Origin. It's a little less coppery, let me put it that way, but still a deep golden on the nose. Oh, the peat is immediately unmistakable. This also offers some sweet candy-like notes, some toffee, some caramel, even some butterscotch, but then you get this a bit of a brine note in there, a bit of maritime notes in there. So I'm getting some lovely smokiness, subtle though, but I do believe this is due to not only Lagavulin and Caol, mostly Caol to be honest. Quite inviting indeed, but it's not peat in your face, and in that sense, I think this might be a good introduction to people, a good introduction to peaty whiskey. If you've never had a peaty whiskey before, this just might be your choice on the palate. Mouth coaty, but less creamy. Sweet, but again with the salty edge. A briny note in there. A bit of soot, in fact, making this quite lovely indeed. If you are a peat lover, this is going to be right up your alley. Quite nice indeed. But it's not in your face. It's not a liquid ashtray. So this is actually quite lovely indeed. But the Clynelish is unmistakable on the finish. That finish is quite long, as opposed to the Highland, which was medium to long. This is actually quite long. And again, it's the peat that lingers the longest. I get some spicy notes towards the end. It's slightly drying towards the end, but the peat lingers the longest, making this indeed the Islay Origin. This is peatier than the double black and even peatier than the regular Johnnie Walker Black Label. Quite lovely indeed. And that's all for this Whisky Rambling, and I hope to see you at one of Mark's Whisky Ramblings real soon. And until then, may the malt be with you. Bye-bye.